There we go.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, man. Hey, everyone, welcome back to another live stream, another show, or what we call it now. The
Welcome,
this,
everyone. I think people are
yeah,
still joining in. I don't see
yeah,
anyone joined yet.
yeah. So, let's see. Yeah. So I also realized, let me share my screen. I can show you. Share screen. Uh, which screen is this? Okay, this should be the one. Oh, yeah. So, on Blue Sky, you can actually announce that you're doing live stream. So one of my friend actually told me about this. So but when you go live, you can
Uh-huh.
actually just go to. I mean, this is now showing me edit live stream. Otherwise, it goes tells me like to like go live stream. I thought like it's some feature where I can just go and say okay, same as you Twitter, right? So they have their studio right now.
But wait, so you are streaming on Twitter and it's automatically picking up on Blue Sky?
You can add a URL where you are streaming right now.
Got it. Got
So
it. Very cool.
everyone So everyone who follows you can see like, oh, you are streaming, and then you can maybe they can join. I mean, cool feature. I mean, they don't have to build another platform. I think no one wants to build another platform.
Yeah, but then video is the next thing, Santosh. So I know a lot of companies that are working ground up on video tech, especially. Like Canva is a good example. So
So what we are doing today? Ritvi?
we are actually, folks, starting something very cool today. As you can see, there's a big hint on Santosh's screen. We are going to be talking about AI models and AI workflows exclusively on Wednesdays. And then you'll find out what we're doing on Thursdays tomorrow. But yeah, so today is going to be for exploring the AI space beyond the jargon that you hear, beyond the stuff that you're probably, using, heard of it, but haven't had the time to kind of scratch beyond the surface. So we're going to do that for you, and you're welcome to follow along. For example, as much as you might have heard of Hugging Face, today Santosh and I learned it's not the easiest platform to navigate. Not because the UX is bad, it's just the words mean a lot more than what you figure they mean, and it's always fun to again dive deep, and it's nice when someone helps you do it. So we're gonna do the hard part for you all, and you can just stick around, watch, or dive deeper. Your choice. So yeah, we signed up for Hugging Face today, and we realized there are a bunch of nuances in that as well, which we are happy to cover if you all have any questions or have navigated that before. But for starters, Santosh and I are going to follow some docs that Hugging Face has been kind enough to provide. They have some really cool courses that they've developed, but then again, they're not exactly getting started guides. They are a lot of they're pretty technically deep. So we'll do the breaking down for you. Yeah. So yeah, how do you feel about the UX, Santosh? Isn't it overwhelming, the whole
Yeah,
Hugging Face
it's
UI?
too much, right? And there is so much information on single screen. Uh, but that's now how not how they started.
Oh,
So I was
interesting.
just so I was just reading the history, like what was Hugging Face, and it was a place to just upload the libraries. So that's why they have a library section
That
somewhere.
I remember. I think
Mm,
one of the conferences, Santosh, I don't know if you remember, but I think this was in Amsterdam last year when we were together.
mm.
There was a Hugging Face employee and he was talking about the history. So I do remember a little bit of what he was talking about, but I think Hugging Face did a great job pivoting to
Yeah.
where it is right now.
This one, right? So open source libraries. So they used to publish a lot of open source libraries to play around with large data sets. I think AI stuff is all new, right? I mean the models and everything.
Yup, yup. I think I love the daily papers also, the Discover New AI papers daily. I think I'm definitely going to sign up for that post this.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they've done a great job, and as you can tell, that they've tried to cover every vertical possible for them to be
Mhm.
like an independent ecosystem when it comes to just AI and ML. right? So if you don't really need a lot of other things if you're using Hugging Face, which is awesome. But let's start talking about the hype word models.
Yeah. So we give access to a lot of different models, and this is what we want to explore as we move ahead. And let's see. So yeah, that was a pop-up. I had no idea like why that pop-up was there.
But that was
But
very cool. We will be looking at inferencing eventually, maybe like 3 weeks down the line, if not sooner. But yeah, I can see that there's a lot of different tasks available. Let's try and click on one of the tasks. Let's see text to speech, maybe, or
okay, let's do that. Image. Let's see. Audio, image, video to text, text to image,
audio, the last one, text to speech.
text to speech. Where is that? Audio, text to speech. Oh,
There we
nice.
go.
And let's
Well,
take.
yeah, let's just
Okay.
click on one of them and check what it's actually doing. So, Santosh, do you know the open source? Well, I won't call it open source, but the model under VO that is being used
Mhm.
by Google.
So one second. Just come again.
Do you know the model that Google uses under VO? Do you know VO is their video generation platform?
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know like which model they use.
So it's the Omni model,
Oh,
apparently.
okay. And is it open?
So it, yeah, I'm just trying to check that. Let me check. Checking, checking. Oh, my bad. So VO is the VO model, but for video generation, they use Omni. So they have two kinds of video models, and Omni is the one that is relatively used by other companies. Basically, you can use it proprietarily under different. So a lot of video editing AI softwares use the Omni model. It's very interesting.
Mhm.
But yeah, what model have you opened?
So I just found the first one, which has close to this is like 13 million or 1.3 million downloads.
Ooh.
It's called Kokoro. It's an open weight TTS model though. Now this is interesting. I think you mentioned open source, and this is open weight.
Right. So earlier this year, when we were trying to brainstorm content, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try exploring open source models. One of our colleagues basically told me, well, these models that you're talking about, especially the ones that you find on Hugging Space for the most part, they're technically not open source. They're open weight. So I'm gonna drop a really cool article on open weights. And yeah, let me find that and drop it right here. And so this is the article from the open source org, the open source initiative org, and they do a great job about breaking down what do you mean by open weight, and why and how is it different from source AI. One of the lines that they use is open weights differ significantly from open source AI. But the point is that open weight models don't include the training code. So we don't know how the creators got the model to where it is. And the second is that there is no comprehensive data transparency about how the model is using certain data.
In
So
case they are open weight, right?
which is most of your proprietary model providers. So if they have any quote unquote open source models, the only truly open source models that I found were research schools releasing certain open source models. So I think one of the examples was Allen Institute releasing OLMO. Let me get that for us. So this is what the website is. I think they have certain open, genuinely open models with a bunch of playgrounds. And then there was a big science bloom that had open source models.
So, if I remember, OpenAI did some open source models, is it? Or was that open weight model?
Even they are all open weight models, but let me quickly check.
Yeah, I think we can also search on here, right? So if I search for open AI,
So if you notice, it says open models by OpenAI, advanced open weight reasoning models to customize for any use case to run anywhere.
okay, so interesting. So they're saying welcome to GPT OSS series. So the OSS name is just show off.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a, well, no one's actually going to open source it until and unless like very specifically checked. So yeah, it is at the end of the day an open weight model. But I'm still trying to just go through it to make sure that we're, but yeah, it says advanced open weight reasoning models.
Yeah, it says OpenAI's open weight models designed for powerful reasoning, agentic task, and versatile developer use case. So they have one OSS 120p and 20b for lower latency and for production general purpose use. But that's interesting. I used to think like they are open source. I'm sure like many of people like me who maybe don't play with models a lot, maybe they think the same that okay, this is open source model, but in reality, no.
Yep, yep. And only like research institutes and like such equivalent folks are actually releasing open source models. So let me see if I can find a good one.
So all the models which we keep hearing about, like for example, Kimi, GLM 5.2, yeah, that's yeah. This is also open weight.
Yep, it's only the open word most people focus on, which makes all the difference.
That's that's interesting. I had something. I learned something new. So
So the only one that I see properly is the one that I just sent. AI tools OLMO framework for truly open source model. It's apparently the gold standard according to Gemini. uh,
sorry, which
mm,
one?
the one that I sent in chat, the OLMO. So if you click on the allenai.org,
Mhm.
they are one of the apparently OLMO. Yeah, that the first one that
Yeah.
is a truly open source.
Chat with Olmo, build with Olmo, and it's 32 billion base. Read the technical report. 7 think. Oh, so they have different models, right? To different tasks.
Correct. So they have basically everything open source, including their training logs, their exact data sets, their inference code, everything. So it's truly open source. And then there is LLM 360 apparently, which is a community-driven initiative to champion fully open source AI. I'm
Hmm?
trying to get a link for that. Let's see. LLM 360.
Oh, open source LLMs, LLM 360. Oh, they have a GitHub org. Oh, so Institute of Foundation Model is hiring. Okay. Why everyone keeps using this llama? This is the same company, which is no.
Which one?
I mean, why everyone keeps using this llama as an image? I mean, there is O llama as well, right?
That is actually a very good question.
Yeah, they also have llama as an image. That's interesting. I saw this first time. So they have data sets. Oh,
So llama literally means large language model meta AI for
okay.
the meta one is why it's called llama. I don't know why the other folks are using it in their names.
Anyways, I just saw the logo and I was like, why? Find a new one. But oh, so it's on Hugging Face as well, LLM 360.
Yeah, so they are. a community driven initiative for genuinely open source models that they're trying to
Search
make.
lab enabling community owned AGI, and they are not active on Wix. Okay, cool. This is nice. So,
I love their names. So they have like Crystal, Amber as their names, the LLM 360 people.
embedded castle. Nice. And K2. So, okay, let's tasks, right? So, we wanted to go for audio, text to text. No, not this one,
I
right?
think let's start with text to text for starters. So we are probably using an LLM basically.
Okay. So audio text to text or
No,
text?
just text to text. So you see what it says, Santosh, in audio text to text, multimodal.
Okay.
Right. So if depending on the task, you're either using only an LLM or multiple models that each take different modalities. Uh, so you see, there's computer vision models, then there is natural language processing. They're all quote unquote multimodal ones. So they're using more than one type of large model, which is not just language.
So when people talk about multimodal, it means it has capability to do, let's say, audio to text, but also video, and maybe just research, something like that.
Correct. So if you let's look up what kind of model is VO.
Mm-hmm.
So VO is a video generation model family. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a text to video, image to video model designed specifically for that. So it's not an LLM per se.
Okay. So if I search for VO, uh, dataset spaces, VO. Uh, okay. VO AI. I think this should be the one, right? No, it's
So
not
VO
having.
is a latent diffusion model. It'll come under that is how it comes under multimodal one. And it will definitely not fall under the traditional LLM classification.
Okay. So they have libraries, tasks. Okay. So maybe so we can put any simple one, take
Yes, I
any
think
simple.
let's try to use a simple LLM, open source LLM. So maybe like Gemma, I think is uh just yeah,
Well, Gemma.
yeah. Let's see.
So it says model card is Schema 4 family of open models. And again, so it's open weight model. So
Correct.
okay. So see multimodal functionality as Schema. So text, audio, image, and video outputs. Okay, so it
Again, this is
can
a multimodal. I want to
uh,
see if I can look up a pure LLM, open source LLM. Let's see.
so they have will be unified 31 betas. And how do I use it directly? So I can deploy or use this model on Google Colab. Okay, let's see. So I just have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, like even if you're aware, but like to use this models, of course, we need an API key. Or going to pay for this, just in case we try this out?
That is a very good question. uh, I think Hugging Face, but let's try. Let's see. I don't know if it's an add-on.
Let's see. So I just added transformers, and if so, this will just equal to Python 3. So it will install transformers, and then it will the next one is load model directly. So the next step, and we can see the terminal, I think here, and then we can add. Oh, so we can add code. Yeah, I'm just using it after so much long time, but Start coding or generate with AI. Okay. Interesting. Do that. Camera to image to text. Let's see if it can generate the code. Okay. It says you are sending unauthenticated request to HF hub. Please set an HF token. Okay, so this is important, I think.
Yeah, I
See.
think this is part of one of the getting started things that we should do, setting up tokens across different local things that we'll be using or any other.
So okay, so HF token, we need to set this up and then we can actually use this. And then it is also showing me an error. This one it says Gamma 412p. It is actually text only language model.
That's awesome. That's what we want. We want to
Yeah.
start with a text only model because I was just trying to look
Hmm.
at more text generations. All of them had multiple inputs to
Okay.
make our understanding better. Starting with something simple with one input and one output makes a lot more sense.
Mhm. Uh,
Yay! Yes, they
yes.
are. Thank you, Punipal, for joining.
Hey, Nipal, thank you for coming. So okay, so it says actually it's let's see how to set up the HF token. Can I ask somebody? Let's see.
Let's see if the docs have a
Set,
simple.
okay, so we have access tokens. Let's see. Okay, so it says create new token, regular check for leaked access token and remove it. Maybe I'll just do it on another screen. So create new token, fine grained read write. This cannot be changed. Oh, so they have repository inference, billing, jobs, notification. Let's see what kind of token to enable higher rate limits and faster downloads. Oh, what I did. Okay. Please set HF token to enable higher rate limits and faster downloads. Oh, so they really don't need the token. They just need it because it enables you to have higher rate limits and faster downloads.
Got it. I think for the sake of security and doing it correctly, we should figure out how to do it. Maybe not this stream, but one of the first things we start next Wednesday is how to set up your HF token and how it differs in performance
Okay.
when you set it up. Because folks,
Uh,
as a good software engineering practice, always use your tokens.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's for sure. Uh, let's say build an engine. Yeah, no, building an agent will be just too much. What we can do? Maybe just search for maybe park, like
Yes.
mm, search search park around a city, and it's taking some time. It says, oh, oh wow. I mean, it says it's 23 GB. Is it? Or
Uh,
I'm
yep.
reading it. That's
13
right.
hours.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh, so okay. So the model we chose is saying, it goes beyond the capabilities of current setup. So to build such an agent, what you need is external API access, geocoding library, and Python library and agentic logic.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
so what this model can do? Interesting. I mean, if it cannot do this all this complex task, what kind of tasks it can perform?
It's a text generation model, right? So you can ask it to generate text and it should be able to do that. So maybe ask it to write like a two-paragraph story about open source.
Okay. What about generating a story for an topic of right? This
Yep.
should be okay.
Yep.
And meanwhile, I think it will take some time. It says it is down able to download. Ah, it did
So
actually.
yeah, that's the beauty of starting with a simple model like this is people don't realize that LLM in itself is very limited to what it can do. which is why you have so many people telling you about how to build a RAG and how to connect documentation for them to be actually able to get the source and the information from certain, sources, or getting it tools like simply something as simple as checking the weather. It can't do it on its own, and it's a good thing. You need to set up the API calls, and all the LLM is going to do is predict text. That is all the LLM is capable of doing.
We don't think about it because we are already used to using all this state of the art, or what you call SOTA models.
Exactly. So, like the one example I give, especially when I give one of the MCP talks, is Chat GPT
Hmm.
is not a model. It's an application. It's a chat application powered by GPT. So it is like building any other chat application
Mm.
where you've given it API access, apps, but the model is only doing the prediction, and OpenAI has just helped us connect everything well. For web querying, it has a different tool that it's probably using for web querying, and there's specific tools out there only for like good web querying.
Yeah. Same, I think same goes with cloud code, right? I mean, when they launched with CLI, because they initially they just used to have their models, right? I mean, they just had their Anthropic models, and then then they launched cloud code on top of it, the CLI.
Precisely. So, depending on what tools you attach to a model, and of course the model's capabilities, it can do certain things. And that is where the whole MCP came into being with, because we were trying to attach too many tools to one model, and then it messed up the data types. We're like, you know what, we should have like a single protocol, single type of format in which tools communicate with the model. That is how MCP came to being. Once we realized that, oh, even after that, it loses context, we came into the multi agent era where we're like, okay, every model will get only one tool, and then we'll get the agents to communicate with each other. And yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So much to things to explore, and no one thinks about all these basics. So,
Yeah, and it's always fun to like learn on the stream with people, because that way, like, there is y'all can ask us questions and we'll just be looking it up with y'all. Like, huh, interesting question. Let's see
yeah.
what that means. I was actually trying to look up the slides that I made for one of my talks regarding this. It is very cool. It has one of a like really nice diagrams
Mhm.
about how the whole flow works when, let's say, even if you're asking for something as simple as, oh, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow or today? Mm, let me see if I can look it up in the next 30 seconds. MCP. So I found the slides. Let me just get the diagram out.
Mhm.
Yep. This is the diagram.
Share screen.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly share my screen.
Yeah, because this is going to take some time. It's still loading.
This was last year's July 19th that I gave this talk. So this is the system message that you've given the model. So this is the prompt that the model has before we've even asked it about the weather. We're telling the model, hey, this is what you do. Then the user's querying, what's the weather in Dallas? The model recognizes that, okay, I can't do what I like, I can't generate the answer. I need to use a tool. So it then uses a tool, whatever the tool we've attached. If it's a web query or if it's a specific weather API, it gets the weather, and then it responds to the user. The only thing the model is supposed to do is actually generate text or make the tool calls.
So, I think all this, harnesses, they do this. They just call different models, sorry, different tools.
And
Um,
the idea behind harness is to lock the access to that tool. What kind of access? Because there was an like around the time everyone started using the models and tools, we were giving read all, write all access to the models, and that's when things started going wrong, when it deleted all the emails and things like that,
yeah.
right? A lot of those
So,
mishaps happened. So the idea behind that was, okay, a model, if you treat it just like, or rather, wrong word, right, an agent, if you treat it like another human being, you want to make sure you control the access and what they're capable of doing, and have multiple checks. So we didn't even have logs for what the agent was doing. So that all of that infrastructure has come around, and we call those harnesses.
So I can just quickly maybe show Visual Studio because they have an option to actually select the tools. So these are some built-in tools, and let me just zoom in maybe. Yeah. So for example, I have installed NXMCP. So they have these two tools which will be called in case MCP, in case I try to perform any task. Then GitHub pull request. So they have bunch of different tasks. So you can actually control them. You can remove because they also cause an issue in case like you have many tools which is being called. I think they may burn through your token, right? Ritvi, if I'm not wrong.
Correct. The idea is to isolate the tool one agent or one model can use and get it to communicate with another agent. They could be using similar models or same model, but the idea is they're technically each isolated.
Mm, good. So I'll just go back to the previous one. Let me just remove this. Uh, so yeah, we are back. So it's downloaded. So the model is downloaded. Everything is set up. Now I can just run the next task, which is generating a story. So let's see how it works.
Amazing. But yeah, I loved, which is why I wanted to start with a simple model. I think Santosh, let's stick to a simple model and see how much we can do with it until we move to a multi-modal model.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Because we become lazy as soon as we start using some advanced models, which gives you everything. Don't have to worry about. I think the more limitation is there, you will try to figure out, okay, how to use it more. Maybe,
Not
you know.
just that, you also, it's easier to isolate what's happening in terms of, okay, the LLM only does this. Instead of we're using a multimodal and giving it multiple inputs, we can't differentiate very easily until explained where a tool is being used and when the model is doing the work.
So
But
it's running.
amazing. Is it being able to run?
Yeah, it's running. So I think it's not giving me the output yet, but let's see. Uh, so here, I think once it runs, it gives you a terminal like this, so you can see all the output. So right now it's, I think, just preparing everything. Maybe we could have added some console log or what do you call it in Python print, right? I mean,
In
I'm
Python.
just sorry. Yeah, JavaScript developers are lazy. They just like, oh, console.log.
But yeah, I think it's very cool if you look at the code also how like how we're structuring it. We've given it the prompts and we're asking it to do certain things.
So it says processor, which is, I don't know from where we are actually. Okay, so processor is this. Okay, from a pre-trained Gamma 412B it. Okay, and then this is the processor. This is the model.
Correct. So we've told it which model
Mm,
and then we're giving it the prompt. Then we're in like adding the prompt to the processor. Then we're waiting for the output by sending it model or generate, including the input ID and the token limit that we want to expend in one go.
And then finally, it will decode everything. The it will decode the outputs and generate the story.
Yep. Very interesting and really breaks down at a very granular level what a model does essentially. But it does take a lot of time, especially if you're using an old small model.
It's slow.
Very slow. But I think that was it, y'all. I think for the sake of how we want to do these streams going forward,
Yeah.
we're going to do like a very, very cool thing, very tiny thing, and break it down as much as possible. And we'll do something very, very cool next time. But tune in for tomorrow. We have a very special guest joining us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll tweet out the output once we get it. How do you feel about that, Santosh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's do that on after the stream. I think it will take some time.
It's going to take a minute, I'm sure. And if we have errors, we'll decode it next stream.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Punipal, for dropping by. Really
yeah.
appreciate that. And we'll see